Among the many times I've been in jail, court ordered into state mental hospitals, Osawatomie Hospital, Johnson County Mental Health, where these Nazis evaluated me, labeled me mentally ill because, let's see, first of all, addressing trespassing at Merrill Lynch, they said, you just think you own stock, you're insane, you don't own stock. And I prove I own stock of Merrill Lynch. And they said, well, we own more than you. There's nobody that owns 1%, let alone 51%. So that argument really is ridiculous. It reinforces these people are Nazi scum. Of course, then one time they also said, well, owning stock doesn't mean you own the company. Reinforces these people are Nazi scum. And then when they're digging to label me mentally ill, I'm mentally ill because I got drunk in college at fraternity parties. Well, I did get drunk a few times in college. Graduated from Purdue in 85, Oklahoma State 83. 20 years later, I'm an alcoholic because of that, and alcoholism is a form of mental illness. Well, I wasn't an alcoholic during college, and I'm not an alcoholic 20, 30 years after the fact. So, that same person digging for a reason to label me and get me locked up in jail or state hospital also said nobody's supposed to make more than $30,000 a year. I make $50,000 a year. Never say hostile takeover again. I'll say hostile takeover forever. Then I'll say these people are Nazis forever. That was a nurse, Fran Staus. Maybe there was 2 or 3 women who looked like each other. And then one thing the dad would say that there's some nurse whose dad worked at the Ford factory who she just goes in there and starts fucking with people and fucks them up. Of course, he also said other things about Ford. The guy who built the Ford factory in Kansas City doesn't like you bypassing him. I could care less what the punk likes. If he got paid money from Ford to do whatever he did, that's his business. Ford may pay me $1 billion a week to be the chairman right now. And if I find out who these scumbags are, Ford, you're nothing. General Motors, these car companies. At this point in time, I'll let you pay me $1 billion a week. Contract work with the board of directors. Besides that, I could care less. It's all about me being a billionaire. It's about me getting my legal rights. And all you scumbags who make up in your mind that I'm disrespecting you, Uncle Jay, I was disrespecting him. Those people are just gossip liars. Dad said he had to get a UMKC MBA to become a realtor. And he told me he never got an MBA at UMKC. He was a realtor and he was kind of a stupid idiot too. And then he would be hunched over with his real estate broker and people who disrespected me when I had a license at Coldwell Brankel's, J.C. Nichols. And we'd go eat lunch. And I don't know what the hell those idiots thought, or they gossiped. And Dad, his friends, how many of them were not the same people? He gossiped about them and what he said wasn't true. The neighbors took my real dad out and killed him because I didn't get straight A's in college. I think straight A's is fucking bullshit fraud. There was bullshit fraud at Great Point, Shawnee Mission South, and I got an A in English, and the teacher said, I'm not going to give you an A. What are you going to do about it? That precedent was established, so, Great Point, I didn't get straight A's. So it's craft and fraud. People who couldn't even pass engineering first semester, couldn't even get into pass engineering or get into Purdue. People are lying about their degrees, lying about everything. I'll let General Motors or Ford pay me $1 billion a week to be the honored chairman. Merrill Lynch, Smith Barney, Payne Weber, you owe me $1 trillion. Hedge fund paycheck is now $5 billion a year. Pay me $5 billion a year for ever since '85, because that's where Dad had money, and we had trust accounts, and we had precedents of relationships and implied statements that Easy A to Econ. It's all econ, or you're no different. Go into Merrill Lynch. Go. Oh well, Smith Barney has Merrill Lynch. So Smith Barney, they're the ones behind all this. They're now owned by Morgan Stanley. Well, they owe me $5 billion a year in paycheck for every year since '85. If they say my degrees don't matter, they owe me since kindergarten. That's what Merrill Lynch and the Kansas Securities Commission did. Smith Barney gave me a bullshit test, said I flunked it, and Gossip was they always just gave impossible tests to people who have degrees and laugh at them, calling chumps like Mom called me chump. And the guys at Payne Weber, gave me some tests that I didn't pass it or whatever. And just because you own the place doesn't mean you get a paycheck. And that was established when I was 16. So I own all these places and I don't get paychecks for business. And it's all a bunch of shit. They owe me $5 billion paycheck for every year since '85. We identify them on national television, everything about them. It was possible to do so accurately. Then they owe me $1 trillion for disrespecting me, my ownership, my degrees, and probably murdering my dad and having an identity thief steal his life. Or maybe his law firm did because they hated his guts. And he said something about his lawyer's children's all wanted to fuck me over because dad used them, their dads. And yeah, I don't know. I've seen some of them. I remember baby Sarah. She's a doctor, and then there's one who's a swimmer, and then there's one who's 2 or 3 that look like each other of all these people. I don't know who the fuck they are really. Remember a few faces, names. Just remember this: Merrill Lynch, you owe me $1 trillion. Smith Barney, you owe me $1 trillion. Payne Weber owes me $1 trillion and $5 billion in paycheck for every year since '85, and the disrespect cannot be tolerated.